congrats to them. So, as you all know, Johnny, if you've been watching me, you would know that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, they both have defamation trial. They've got a defamation trial going on. They're both suing each other. Johnny sued Amber for 50 mil. Amber suing Johnny for 100 mil. This is week 6 of the trial. So there was 4 weeks for the trial previously. Last week they did nothing because the judge wasn't able to be in court because of a conflict, and then this week they're back. So just going to go and do a little bit of breakdown of what happened in court this week. Today was the last day of court for this week. They don't normally do court on Fridays for that particular trial, and then next Monday the trial will start again. Next week is the final week for the trial, and then they'll do their closing arguments and stuff. So just gonna do a recap. Amber was on the witness stand on Monday and Tuesday. That cross was done by Camila Vasquez. That was brutal. It was brutal. Like, it's like each time Amber was trying to think of what to say. You know, when the lawyer said, you know, you didn't donate you didn't donate your settlement. I said I pledged it. I didn't say I donated it. So Amber doesn't know the difference between pledging and donating. Pledging means that you have an intent to give. Donating means that you've actually given. The fact that Amber lied on multiple occasions about actually giving the monies to the 2 organizations that she stated that she would give them to is a big deal, and is a part of the trial situation that makes her look like a liar, because they're basically saying, okay, if you lied so many times about this important thing, that means you're lying about other things. You know, so just going to touch a little bit on the parties that were on the witness stand this week, their relation to Amber, and you know, some of the things that they had to say about what happened, who saw what, who didn't see anything, and all of that. You know, and the thing that I find interesting is, other than Amber and her sister, no one else has ever seen Johnny hit Amber. In the times where Amber has claimed that Johnny has hit her, even while he was wearing his rings and stuff, and he's hit her and the police came, they didn't see bruises. Only Amber and occasionally Whitney, Enrique's, Amber's sister, saw bruises. So it's a lot of cases of Amber and Whitney said, but the other people, they haven't seen anything for themselves, even though some of them were practically living with Amber and Johnny. They never saw anything. They can't corroborate. Most of what they're stating is because Amber said, or they heard. And, you know, so all of that was part of the situation. So they called Ayo Tillett Wright, who was friends with Amber during the relationship with Depp. Case in point, Ayo and Amber are no longer friends. They called Raquel Pennington, who was a friend of Amber at the time when Amber was in a relationship with Johnny. Raquel and Amber are no longer friends. They called Josh Drew, who is Raquel Pennington's ex. Josh and Raquel are no longer together. Josh and Amber are no longer friends. Whitney Enrique is Amber's sister. Elizabeth Mars and Amber were friends during the period of time when Amber was with Johnny. They are no longer friends. Melanie Iglesias is the former makeup artist for Amber. They were friends. They're no longer friends. Christina Sexton is Amber's former acting coach. She lives now, if I recall, I think she lives in Australia. However, she's no longer friendly with Amber. So there's a pattern. Pretty much nobody um, is currently friendly with Amber. And a couple of the reasons that came up why they're no longer friendly with Amber is the fact that they said that it's too much to be her friend. Where they break it down to say, okay, it was all consuming. She wanted you to be her friend and you couldn't be anybody else's friend or have time to be friendly with anybody else because she wanted all of your attention and she wanted you to be her friend solely. A couple of them said it just got to be a point where, yeah, I can't be bothered with that, and I'm moving on. It was interesting to hear Melanie Iglesias, the former makeup artist, stating, I told her that I couldn't be her makeup artist anymore and I couldn't be her friend anymore because it was just too much. And I didn't have it in me to be her friend because it was too much. So it was quite interesting. Christina Sexton, who was the acting coach, said it was hard to get Amber to cry during their sessions. She also said that she, had to make time, billing extra time to work with Amber because she was most of the time late coming, always angry. There was always some fight or some things going on with her and Johnny. One thing is consistent is that most people said that her and Johnny fought all the time, verbally. The other thing that's not consistent is that there's nobody to say, yes, I saw Johnny hit Amber. The makeup artist Melanie Iglesias explained how she covered injuries on Heard's face before a December 2015 appearance on The Late Late Show with James Corden in the 2021 video deposition. Iglesias said she saw bruising around Heard's nose and eyes that looked like someone may have headbutted her, as well as a bloody lip. And she was given the breakdown of the different types of makeup that she used and the different types of concealers and such. I don't wear a lot of makeup, so I don't know these things, but she was breaking down with the blue undertone and the peachy undertone and the orangey undertone and all of that thing and how all of that factored in. Elizabeth Mars, who was an acquaintance of her, testified through a 2019 video deposition on Wednesday about being present during the couple's May 2016 argument. Mars said she was with Raquel Pennington, who was close friends with her at the time and living in the neighboring penthouse. So they broke that down, that there was 5 penthouses and Johnny owned all 5. Penthouse 3, 4, and 5, Johnny and Amber lived in that one. I think penthouse 1, Raquel and Josh Drew lived in that one. And I think penthouse 2, Amber's sister lived in penthouse 2. And then penthouse 3 was Amber's closet area was in there. And then they had, so, they were all living together. Said that she was living in the penthouse when they heard, arguing down the hall. She said she heard the sounds of raised voices and destruction before Depp abruptly opened the door to a room she was in. 2 men were with him, Mars said, and she assumed they were his security guards. Whitney Enriquez said on Wednesday that she supported her sister's efforts to salvage her marriage to Depp. During cross-examination, Enriquez said she was known as a marriage counselor to the former couple. Enriquez said she always wanted to support her sister and recalled an instance when Heard was disappointed that Depp didn't join them at a music festival a day after an alleged fight in 2016. Whitney Henriquez recounted her experience with a March 2015 argument between her sister Amber Heard and Depp that escalated, alleging that she was struck by Depp during the incident. That particular incident, there's conflicting stories about who was where and what exactly happened, because Amber said she saw Johnny acting as if he was gonna hit Whitney, and she got in between them. Whitney stated that Johnny pushed her or something, and Amber got in between them and hit Johnny and then the position on the stairs of who was where conflicted as well. Also, the fact that the other parties, the stories that they heard from Amber regarding that situation differs. So each person has a slightly different story of what happened during that incident. Josh Drew is a former husband of Raquel Pennington and testified that Depp screamed and cursed at him in May 2015. Drew had lived in the same downtown Los Angeles building as Depp and Heard when he said he heard Depp smashing a bottle of wine in the hallway. He came in, caught eyes with me right away, and beeline for me, screaming, cursing, spitting in my face. But the way he explained it, it wasn't actually spitting, but because he was screaming and such, spittle was, coming out of his mouth, ended up in his face. So yeah. He said, I walked calmly to leave. Depp's angry words were gibberish, according to Drew. Depp got close enough for it to be aggressive, he said. Josh Drew, who cooked for Heard's 30th birthday dinner, recounted what he remembered of the event. Johnny was hours late, and Amber spent the better part of the evening making excuses for him. He came very obviously intoxicated and put on a show for everybody. Raquel Pennington, who was close friends with Heard at the time of her relationship with Depp, testified that she walked into a loud altercation between the former couple in May 2016. He was yelling, Pennington said, of the incident, and she was calling for help, and that had never happened before, and saying, help, help, help me. Pennington said that she immediately got in between the two. They also claimed that Johnny tore out a patch of hair out of Amber's head. The nickname that they had for Johnny was calling him a monster, because they claimed that whenever he drank, he was, very angry. He got very aggressive and all of those stuff. But for some reason, there's always a recording that Amber did. There's always a recording, but the question that came up is like, if Johnny tore your hair out of your head, why didn't you report him to the police or charge him with assault? Or if he battered you that much, why didn't you charge him? I mean, police have gone to their house and they left without filing charges and such, because they said that they didn't see Amber injuries. They didn't see any marks on her that would require them to file charges. She never pressed any charges and stuff. But one of the constant thing is that I noticed in the recordings that they played was that when Johnny is trying to leave Amber, like if they're upset and they're arguing and he's trying to leave the house or to leave to go to another house, she's not allowing him to do that. And you can hear, like, she's not allowing him to leave. And even though, like, he's begging her, to just let me go, she's not allowing him to leave and such. One of the things that Amber claimed was that Johnny penetrated her with a bottle. Again, she did not report it to the police. Johnny's lawyer, Camille Vasquez, she was very, very good in her cross of Amber. Amber does not make a good witness at all. And then, the stories, the different ways of how everyone is telling this story, there's a different version. And what's interesting is as I said, a lot of Amber's friends, when she was dating Johnny, and they're not Johnny's friends, these are actually Amber's friends, they're no longer friendly with Amber. They're no longer friendly with her. But it's interesting to note that each one stated that she reached out to them just prior, a week prior, or a couple of months prior, a month prior to them giving their deposition. And the interesting thing about it is most of most of them gave their deposition via video. Like her sister was the only one that came in and was actually in court on the stands, but everybody else gave their deposition via video. So they also brought in the knife that Amber gave to Johnny as a gift, and it's a very big knife. The question again was, why would she give, if she was so afraid of him or whatever, why would she give him that knife for his birthday? And she, flippantly said, oh, he wasn't going to use it to kill me, so it didn't matter and stuff. So it's quite interesting. It's like watching a movie where you see the car accident that's going to happen. You're watching it and you're actually not believing that you're seeing and hearing what you're seeing and hearing. But the question that I keep asking over and over and over again is, she's famous, he's famous. She's making money, he's making money. She was doing decent before him, and she could do better without him, because they have proven that she cheated on Johnny in Johnny's penthouse with James Franco. They have proven that she cheated with Elon Musk in Johnny's penthouse, and all of the abuse and all of the things that she's going through, all of that happened before they got married. Why would you still get married? Why would you still go through with all of that if you knew that the person took drugs, you knew that they drank a lot, and when they drink and they took drugs, it's a whole different person that you're marrying or that you're knowing? Like, why would you still marry the person? You know somebody's gonna beat you, and yet you decide to then get engaged, get beaten during the engagement, and then still get married and then get beaten after that don't make sense. That does not make, I never understood that part. I never understood how that makes sense. But that's what they did. Like I said, the trial is finished for this week. They'll pick it up back again Monday. I will give you an update next week to let you know what's happening and who's gone, who's gonna do what. Interesting to note is that each side only had 60 hours each. Yes, so 60 hours each. So far Amber's team has used 58 hours, and Johnny's team has used 42 hours. So Johnny's team has 18 hours left to use in the trial, and Amber's team only have 8 hours left. So it's going to be interesting to see how they manage to use those time over the next week, Amber's team, because they still have people to call. If Johnny's team does cross, they can't redirect, and they won't be able to effectively redirect and do their cross and stuff next week. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the breakdown of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's trial this week, and I'll keep you guys updated as to what's going to happen next week.